Bama sits down. Georgia re-enters the arena. Downstairs to Jen Hildreth.
Suzanne, you're obviously pumped. I'm sorry, your fans. You guys came out strong. What do you need to do now?
Well, vaulting's our weakest event because of our injuries, so we felt great getting that event behind us, and we did respectable there. So if we can come in and hit our bar routines, I think it's our meet.
Never lacking any confidence, Suzanne Yochlin will take the Georgia Gym Dogs to the uneven parallel bars, while Alabama and Auburn will watch from the sidelines. Kentucky and LSU hanging in there. And we go to Kinsey Rowe, sophomore out of Houston, Texas, who is actually a redshirt freshman, has come back after a lot of adversity and injury in her young career.
She tore her ACL before her freshman year, came back as one of the top all-arounders in the country, and then at this competition against Alabama earlier in the season, she came in short on her vault landing and fractured a bone in her foot. But Kinsey doesn't give up. She went back, worked hard in the training room, trained bars despite being on crutches and in an air cast. And this exhibition bar routine against LSU was all part of the building process to get her back and strong tonight.
Coach Suzanne Yochlin knows how important it is.
She's been resting it and mentally preparing to compete, and she wants to. So she just has to land that one dismount off of bars, and we feel confident that she can do that, and her bar routine's terrific. So we're looking forward to having her back on that event.
Suzanne literally needs every athlete who's even partly healthy, like Kinsey Rowe, to put together the kind of perfect meet she said she needs here tonight.
She told me they're thin, they have no reserves on any event, so if someone doesn't warm up very strong, she has no one to turn to. Everyone has to be on. Kinsey's got the main part of the bar routine down pat. The only concern is the dismount. It's a mental feat and a physical feat. You don't know how it's going to hurt. Not a problem. Double back.
She knew when she hit the floor. Okay, it's okay. You could see her wince and then say, no, it didn't hurt. It's okay. And she lands with a 9.875. So Coach Suzanne Yochlin and the Gym Dogs have gotten the performance they needed out of their formerly injured Kinsey Rowe.
Now, Kinsey did water down her dismount a little bit here. She's capable of doing more difficulty, but Georgia was willing to compromise the difficulty to get a good, clean, solid performance.
And there was the dismount, and there the celebration by Kinsey Rowe. Now we move over to another one of the individual all-around competitors, an outstanding one, Aronda Primault.
Kentucky's strongest and most powerful vaulter, 10-0 vault pike half. Pretty good job. Step on the landing, a little form break in the air.
Once again, the rest of the Kentucky team coming over to congratulate Aronda with a 9.800. Yes, Kentucky's hanging in there with their best team ever here at this SEC championship. We'll be right back with more. Things are just starting to get good. Conference at Bartow Arena in Birmingham, Alabama, where they're doing a land rush business out in the hallways on souvenirs. This is a very big event. Florida gets set to make their debut on the balance beam, and team captain Hillary Thompson knows that this is a very important event.
I think it's going to come down to our confidence and how much faith we have in each other, especially on beam. Beam's been an event for us that has been making or breaking us, and so we're going to have to go out there and be confident on that event. I think once we get past that event, it should be pretty smooth sailing for us.
You know, Hillary mentioned having faith in each other. That's when gymnastics becomes a team sport. You have to know that your teammate's going to get the job done, and that relieves some of the pressure on you.
Hillary Thompson in the center, now obscured by Kara Waterhouse on the balance beam. Of course, all of the team members that are competing on this apparatus will be right there rooting for their teammates.
And Kara looks intense and confident, nailing her layout. See the changed expression on their teammates. A little bit more relaxed now that she's hit that major series.
Behind Kara, the judge is putting her name on top of the score flasher that will display her score. She works oblivious of everything around her except that 4-inch beam.
It's important to stay calm, collected, and focused, yet still aggressive. The tendency is, at a high-pressure meet like this, to hold back, and that's when your technique is going to be compromised.
Well, it is the SEC Championships. No reason to hold back. Everyone's got to do their very best here tonight.
Big, powerful dismount, a double back. That's an E-level skill. You knew something big was coming. She was standing at the very end of the beam. Nice, powerful hurdle into that big dismount.
And a big hug from the coach who knew that that routine was something very special. So Carol Waterhouse has delivered for Florida on balance beam, a crucial apparatus in the words of Hillary Thompson. For the University of Georgia, sophomore Sierra Sapunar, who has had sort of a spotty career due to injury with the Gym Dogs.
Georgia knows that if they can just keep her healthy, she's going to score big for them. Nice combination work into her Jaeger. She looked great in warm-up. She's worked very hard to get herself healthy. She's been doing extra aerobic workouts to try to get her body lean and strong.
Well, with the new Georgia uniform, Sierra Sapunar looks
Oh,
good.
nails the double lag dismount. Impeccable form. You know, with Cassie there out with the knee injury and Kinsey limited to just one event, they need big scores from Sierra on 3 events.
The whole team is over there to congratulate Sierra Sapunar, and why not? Beautiful bar routine.
Sierra came from one of the premier programs in the nation, Cincinnati Gymnastics. And you can tell by her technique and her form, her basics are beautiful on every event.
And that 9.900 for Georgia by Sierra Sapunar will not hurt. Here, as we mentioned, one of the outstanding candidates for Freshman of the Year for an individual all-around title, and hands down the winner already of the best name in the SEC, Orley Szmuch.
Well, Brian, the big joke around Gatorland is that with a name like that, you better be good. And she is nailing a layout right from the start.
Score for Carol Waterhouse going up in the background as O, her teammates call her O, performs on the balance beam.
There's Judy in the background, screaming her lungs out. Quite often you see the coaches calm and collected, but she is bubbly just like Orley herself.
She's performing the routine in mirror back there, but Orley is someone that you can really get enthusiastic about, isn't she?
Absolutely, and she loves the attention. Oh, slightly off there, but what a fighter. She is thinking through this routine. Florida knows the importance of this event. They need to hit at least 5 routines. Double back dismount. Slight stumble on that landing, but what a fighter and a thinker. An amazing freshman.
Orley Szmuch, 9.825 for her on the balance beam. The big smile breaks out, and there's no shortage of people to give her a hug. Take another look.
It's so important to never give up on this event. You can be slightly off. You have to fight to the end.
Well, we're nowhere near the end. Stay with us here on SEC TV. There's a lot more. And our world span featured student athlete is Lauren Compagnoni, who scored a 9.95 on floor against Georgia in a near upset. And her coach knows she's special.
She has such a competitive spirit and so much enthusiasm, and her internal drive and her desire to please and to be a great team member is what makes her outstanding. She's got the difficulty, she's got the good, she's got the look, she walks the walk, she talks the talk, she does it all, and she's a 4.0 student. She's just, she's tiny, she's total, she's exactly what you want your student athletes to be.
Lauren Compagnoni, our final World Span Athlete of the Week here, and we have been so happy to have World Span as a sponsor for SEC Women's Athletics. They have been a big part of the success of this season here in 2002.
And Lauren has been the total package on this event. The judges want to see it all. Tumbling, diversity, dance, and expression. They want to be entertained, and so do the over 7,000 fans sitting on their edges of the seats watching this battle unfold.
Regardless of who they come here to cheer for, the floor exercise is the biggest stage, and eyes invariably head that way. With the music and the size of the stage and the drama of the competition by someone like Lauren Compagnoni, how can you not watch?
Always, Brian, always the entertainment event.
Look at Lauren.
And you know, the gymnasts really love to perform on this event. This is where they can express themselves, bring out their character, and really enjoy the music and the fans.
Lauren hosted her teammates at her family's home near Tampa prior to their meet against Florida, and she is just a spark plug for this team, both in competition and on the sidelines. 9.800 for Lauren Compagnoni in the floor exercise. And Florida continues to hang right in there with the two leading teams in the competition, Alabama and Georgia, as we take our first look at another one of those sensational sophomores, Chelsa Byrd.
And you know, Brian, we talked about the conservative scoring at our last competition. We covered the LSU-Georgia meet. We're seeing conservative scoring here as well. It's a championship meet. There's 4 judges, so the high and low scores are thrown out. So we're going to see some consistent and very accurate judging. Chelsa's putting together a fabulous bar routine, double layout dismount, big step on the landing.
And little deductions like that can't help when you're locked in a championship fight. Still, 9.900 for Chelsa Byrd. The Georgia team will take that and put it on the scoreboard in their fight to try to catch Alabama for this title.
Really, the only deduction the judges seemed to see was the step on the dismount. This is probably one of the better routines I've seen Chelsa do. She had nice stretch through all of her elements, something that needed to be worked on this year. She did a good job here.
And we return to the floor exercise with Nicki Arnstead for the LSU Tigers, one of their outstanding individual all-around competitors as well.
Opening with a big triple full. Whoa, out of bounds. We cannot emphasize enough the importance of these landings and that 1/10 for the out of bounds plus the landing deduction. That could hurt LSU in the whole scheme of things.
Well, Nicki Arnstead just has to put that out of her mind, continue on here, and put the best floor exercise together possible.
Nicki told me one of her biggest challenges is controlling her adrenaline in competition. It got the best of her in her opening pass. Not a problem here, nailing that landing.
With inches to spare, nevertheless, that's plenty. Nicki Arnstead returns to her routine now. Teammates looking on, judges at the 4 corners of the floor.
Remember, she sprained the midsection of her foot just a few weeks ago, and this is one of the toughest events to come back on. Even though it is her best event, she scored a perfect 10 first meet of the season here.
And even though the floor is somewhat spring-loaded, it's still big altitude and a hard landing.
Not a problem with that last landing. Double pike. Nice difficulty, but that opening pass, the triple full, the out of bounds, the landing deduction, that's going to hurt. The coaches said over and over again that this is going to come down to those 1/10.
9.750. Not only is that going to hurt LSU as a team, it's going to hurt Nicki Arnstead's chances for the individual all-around as well.
At least 2/10 here in the opening pass. She's capable of the 9.95s, the 10.0s, bouncing out of bounds.
Well, Georgia gave Suzanne Yocklin what she said they needed on the uneven parallel bars. Florida and LSU continue to pace one another just behind the 2 lead teams. Let's go downstairs once again to Jen Hildreth.
You guys have bars and beam behind you. How do you feel going into your final 2 events?
Oh, great. You know, for our team this year, we've struggled a little bit on bars and beam. And to get them out of the way and to feel good about our performance is a huge monkey off our back. And we got to keep it rolling because we got our 2 best events to come.
So there are high hopes all around the room here tonight as Alabama in the driver's seat after 2 rotations gets set to go to their next apparatus.